Hello and welcome to Cooking with me, Kung Fu Panda. This is a follow on from yesterday's one. If you remember when we were doing those lovely potato cakes, we whizzed up the tomato relish to make a lovely paste, sauce, so that's there. I'm going to use that up today. These are still the remnants of the veg from the fridge, so again just using up everything we've got. Been shopping today, so got some just under a kilo of beef there. So I just want to get some flavour and body because that hasn't got stock or anything in it. So let's just start with a little bit of flavouring on the beef while we sort the veg out. So I'm going to cheat, and I like putting a little bit of gravy granules. I know it sounds weird, but I mix that with the Garam masala and just leave that for 10 minutes while you're sweating down the veg, and that just kind of helps thicken but gives the beef a slightly deeper flavour. Today's beer, by the way, Singer. So I'm going to start with the onion, sweat down the onion for 10 minutes, a bit of ghee, then add red and green pepper because that's what I've got, the mushrooms, and take it from there. So the onions have been cooking down on a medium temperature for about 10 minutes. Going to throw in a sliced red pepper and a sliced yellow pepper and cook that for another 5 minutes. The peppers have had 5 minutes now, so I'm just going to throw in mushrooms. These are what I had left in the fridge. So they're a mixture of filled mushrooms, wild filled mushrooms, and button mushrooms. So whatever you've got, just cook that down for a minute or two on low temperature, and then I'm going to turn the temperature up and just put the beef in. I'm not going to worry about putting it in batches to brown it too much. It's going to be cooking for long enough anyway. So I shall throw that in a minute and brown it. At the end of this, I'm going to hopefully serve it with some homemade Indian stuffed bread. If at the end of this video I'm serving it with rice, you'll know the bread didn't work because I'm notoriously bad at bread. That's because I may look a little bit like Paul Hollywood, but I can't bake like him. Cooking for a bit, so I'm just going to throw all the beef in now. Remembering that's about a kilo of just stewing beef, cut into small chunks with a bit of garam masala and our old friend gravy granules on them. I don't use gravy granules to make gravy, but I use them on things like this. I don't know why. So the beef's been cooking down for about 5 minutes, nicely coloured. We'll start putting a bit of flavour on it. So whatever your favourite paste is, I'm going to use Madras spice paste and put just 2 dessert spoons in. I found I had a spare bit of tomato paste, tomato purée, from something we did the other day, so I'm going to pop that in. And 1 beef stock pot, and then just cook that for a minute to coat everything. So that's cooked and coated the vegetables and beef, so I'll cook that for a minute. Now I'm just going to put in the whizzed up tomato relish from yesterday. I'm going to fill this jar half with water, give that a good shake. And remembering that was just leftover vegetables cooked up yesterday. And yes, I know tomato is a fruit. So now just cook that very, very slowly on a low heat for 2.5, 3 hours, however long you want. It's great. Get a slow cooker, whack it in a slow cooker, leave it there. But that can just sit and pop away for hours. Going to pop some potatoes about 20 minutes before the end, just to kind of thicken it up and give it a bit more body. Cheers. So the curry's been on for just over 2 hours. So I've got about 8 or 9 potatoes. It's cut to about that size. Just going to pop them in for the last 20 minutes or so. So I'm going to start making the dough because the dough needs to rest for a little bit. So I'm using wheat flour, partly because I like it and partly because that's what the shop had. So the only difference between wheat and plain if you're using it is wheat doesn't tend to need so much water. So I'm going to put 2 cups of flour in, cup them, but I'm going to put half a cup in to start off with. That teaspoon of salt in, around with just a knife. Like I said, put half a cup in first. Very, very plain, simple dough. Should not be a sticky dough, so I'm going to use my hands now. Chopping board and just knead it about 50 or 60 times. And it shouldn't be sticking to the board, so that's a good sign. Right, so that's kneaded. That's very quick to sort that dough out. Now it just needs to be, hey, a new sport. Nothing's on the sky at the moment, so hey, dough juggling. Sorry, being silly now. Just wrap that in cling film, leave it at room temperature for about an hour. Okay, the curry's bubbling away, the potatoes have been in for about 20 minutes. Going to make up the stuffing for the breads. So, I'm going to grate some paneer in. And basically it's going to be equal quantities of paneer and spinach. So, spinach is already washed, just chop it as fine as you can. So the spinach has already been washed, so just chop it as finely as you can. And like I said, it's the same quantity of spinach to paneer. And add a bit of spice, a couple of tablespoons of Garam masala, half a tablespoon of Ajwain seeds. So mix it up and that's your stuffing done. Okay, here we go. So ready to stuff the breads. This is the first time I've attempted stuffed bread. Just take a bit of the dough, about a third of the dough, into a ball. Right, it's getting exciting, I'm excited. And then just roll that out. Dun 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 dun. All this work. So that's about the size we're going for. Come back rolling pin. Take some of the stuffing, place it in the middle, and then fold it over. Pinch, 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 pinch. So you're making a little parcel like that. Just make sure that's all pinched together. Press that down by hand. Roll it over. Then roll it back out. So in theory, that's a stuffed bread. Nice and quick. Shall we see whether it works? I won't do another one until we work out whether that one works. Just turn the pan on, it's going to be a medium heat. And you want it nicely browned on either side. I'm going to use a spray, or you can brush it on, and then just spray one side, pop it in the pan, a minute on that side, flip, spray, a minute, flip, until you get a nice colour.
Does the bread not?
So I've flipped that a couple of times, so this will be the fourth time and it looks like it's working. So again, this is what I do, just flip one side with oil. So spray one side with oil and then just flip it, and then on a minute the other side, so you're not burning any side. And you can see it's starting to golden up, and when it's the right golden colour, that's great. So I shall make another one. Probably taking about 4 or 5 minutes aside, but flipping it every minute over medium heat, spraying with oil every time you haven't got a spray thing. Just a little brush of oil would be great. So I think that's ready to start plating up. So I've got 2 more of the breads to do, but my son's hungry. He's hiding over there, so he's won't go on the camera today. Yeah, you've been at the birth of the first ever stuffed bread I did, and it seemed to work. So that just goes to prove, try stuff in the kitchen. So there you have a beef and potato curry, which other than the beef bought today, everything else was store covered or the leftover veg from the bottom of the fridge, with my first ever homemade stuffed breads. There's the curry, and there's the stuffed breads on the side, looking absolutely lovely. So that's great. Bon appetit.